Hello everyone, welcome to Film Snobbery Live. I am your host, Nick Baisley. It's great to be back another week, and we're counting down the weeks, until April 1st when we just hop in the car and get the hell out of Dodge. It's actually really nice in the studio today. It's the first time in a while I've been able to actually rock like a short sleeve shirt and not have to wear a jacket or anything like that. So very exciting. We have a fantastic show for you. I say that every week, but I actually really mean it this week because it is, from what I understand, International Women's Day, and it wouldn't be proper if we didn't have a female director on the show tonight. So we went ahead and created that happy coincidence. So, and I'm really excited because I've actually met this director before at a film festival. We're going to talk a little bit about her experiences on the festival circuit, as well as creating a web series. You know, differences between doing that, creating films. Our guest for the evening is going to be, director of the director and Mixed Bloom's Destri Martino. We're going to have her say hi in a minute, but first thing we're going to do is we want to show you a trailer for her web series, Mixed Blooms, which I think you'll all enjoy. I actually watched a few episodes of it before the show tonight just to kind of get into the groove and get a feel for it. And I found myself laughing, so that's always a good thing. So let's go ahead. Let's watch the trailer for Mixed Blooms. When we come back, we're going to talk with the director, Destri Martino. Stick around.
Hello, Kim and Bloom.
You okay, Kim? You look really stressed.
Store meeting, right now. Oh, it's just the normal stress of being a small business owner nowadays.
My bumper was only 0.3 inches in the red. I'm not paying this.
Doesn't that mean your license will be suspended?
It already is. I told the judge I'd seen better legal decisions from Judge Nelson.
Putting on dumped girls really works. Can I get a mullet?
Who are the deliveries to?
One is a Wiccan wedding, and the other two are I'm sorry for hurting you, darling, and please take me back. You may not hit on any of these women, Chad. Do you understand me?
But let me give you a word of advice from a sexually liberated woman. Guard your vagina.
I think it's time for you to go home and think about your life choices.
Whoa.
Ladies and gentlemen, the stunning, the ravishing Destri Martino. Hello.
Hello.
Look at this young lady right here. So, how you doing?
Pretty good.
So
a little nervous.
A little nervous.
Excited.
I promise you, I'll go easy. I'll be gentle.
Thank you.
Guide you through this experience. It's a shared experience between the two of us.
Yeah.
You are an LA, or not an LA, but you're a California native, and you've been working out there for a while now. How did you get involved in film? Like, at what point were you like, that's my job?
I guess when I was just first applying to colleges, I knew I wanted to go into film, and I applied to all the big film schools and decided to go to USC. I didn't actually go to film school at USC. I was a film minor and a public relations major. So I did get the benefit of a lot of classes at USC, and I worked on a lot of projects while I was still in college.
And as a PR major, how did you how are you using that information now in what you do?
It's really, really good that I had that experience because I think I would normally feel really gross kind of being, always having, as a filmmaker, you're constantly hustling and you're always trying to sell your film or promote something, and it kind of gets to a point where you feel a little icky. And but I just know in the back of my head, knowing about PR, that's just part of it. It's not a terrible thing, and sometimes it sucks that you have to do it for yourself. It might feel weird, but it's just necessary. So it's important. It's been really helpful just to have that mindset.
Let me tell you what got me over my fear of like feeling icky about promotion, and just because in the end for me it all comes down to salesmanship, and that was I used to be a used car dealer, and I was a dirty, filthy car dealer, a car salesman.
I have a few car salesmen in my family, and I've heard a lot about that business.
Let me tell you, there's no business like that business. It is, and you know, but I will say that there was a lot about doing that work that prepared me for what I do now, and it probably you know, in doing a lot of PR work and probably you know, and going through the process of selling your own movies and stuff yourself, I'm guessing that you've probably learned a lot as well about, you know, rejection, taking no for an answer, maybe knowing when to press on a little bit more, or ease off or whatever. I mean, what to you is kind of the what you feel is the most valuable skill that a filmmaker can have?
Oh my gosh, that's huge.
I know, right?
As far as promotion,
let's go. Yeah, we'll go on the post-production side. Like, you've made the movie, you know, you obviously are skilled and talented in that regard. Let's now look at, you know, you have to get it out there to the masses. What do you feel is like the most important asset, you know, in your Batman utility tool belt that you can have to you know, to get that out there?
Oh my goodness. I guess the ability to swallow your pride really hard. It's most likely not gonna be an easy journey. So just get ready for turbulence. And what else? Trying to think. You know, it's always nice to be able to, I don't know, just be aware of what's going on with the latest technology as far as, you know, these days and the last few years it's all about the social media and being on top of that, and it really does help you get the word out about your project. So I think it's good to be on top of that kind of stuff.
We did mention that it is International Women's Day, and you know, it's great that we have a female filmmaker that we can kind of bust your figurative balls. But I guess one question I have is, you know, there's a lot of talk out there about how women are either, you know, whether it's women getting snubbed at the Oscars, women not being nominated for enough stuff, or, you know, women this, that, whatever it is. It's always wham women. My question is, do you as a woman feel that way? Do you feel that your work is ever discounted or not recognized enough, based on gender or based on the quality of the you know, do you think it's more based on gender or more on quality of the work, the sheer amount of work out there by so many different people? Do you feel that it's ever really about gender?
This is one of my favorite topics, and I actually wrote a master's dissertation about it. It was mostly about the topic of women directors and the hiring process, and it looked at how they can be excluded just in the process of how it works as an industry. And so I do think that gender can sometimes play into the hiring process. And it's not like, in my opinion, you know, that like people might assume that, you know, this gross, like, oh, we're excluding women intentionally. I think it's kind of institutionalized. It's just part of how business is done. And women's stories still just aren't valued. So the conventional thinking is, even though it doesn't really make a lot of sense and people are starting to notice this, is that, well, women don't go to the movies in droves, and, you know, we are catering to the teenage boys and you know, all that. I'm sure you've heard that.
Yeah.
So that means that there are fewer execs or studios looking for stories that are about women because they're just not going to make money on them, they believe. And you know, it kind of really, it looks like if they just knew how to market it, or, you know, there is an audience there. There's definitely an audience there. So it's a little ridiculous to say that women aren't going to go see films about women's stories if they're done with, you know.
And do you feel that a female director has to tell a female story in order to?
No.
No, and that's
No, absolutely not.
Because I know people can go, and look at the argument of like, well, a woman directed Point Break, which but to watch that movie, no one would think a woman directed Point Break. In that kind of case, because I know a lot of, I love working with and communicating with female directors and females in the industry because they all have a very unique perspective like yourself. And, it's just, I find it so tough that they are marginalized, and I do always celebrate the successes. I just got off the phone with a friend of mine the other day. Her name is Mary Mazio. She's the one who has the new documentary out called Apple Pushers that it's narrated by Ed Norton. And it's like,
Cool.
She's talking, possible distribution deals, this, that, and the other thing, cool stuff going on with her. And it doesn't seem like people like her, Lynn Shelton, yourself, it doesn't seem like they're very much held back from success. And, but yet, it's the same thing I hear with, for lack of a better term, black people. Like, oh, there's not enough black people in movies, and all the stories are not, we got a great friend of the show, Miles Maker. The only thing you hear him talk about all the time is like, black people aren't getting the respect they deserve in film. And it's like, every fucking year there's something going on with that. Do you feel that it's just at some point people just need to bitch about something that is relevant to them? Like Miles Maker is a black man, so yes,
people should be bitching about this because it's something that needs to be. I think the industry needs to be shaken up and be told to look at what's going on. It's institutionalized, and that we need to make an effort to make it change. So because the industry is based a lot on not just nepotism, but cronyism and relationships, and that's the way it is. And if there are so many men established already in the industry, and they're hiring their male friends, which often happens, and I've seen it over and over again, that's how it's perpetuated. And I'm not saying these people are evil, awful people. It's just
I am. No kidding.
it's just something that happens because they're not stopping and saying, hey, how can I be a part of changing and making this industry more diverse?
Well, they're not, it seems to me that most people in let's call it what it is, the business, aren't interested in change. They're interested in dollars. They're not interested in cents. They're interested in dollars. So it's and I have found that causing a paradigm shift, unless there's been something that has been uber successful, they're not going to risk it. Now, I know that we've gotten on a whole topic of conversation and off of just you as a filmmaker, but I hope that some of this is relevant to you. But I do want to talk about your work that you are doing, because you are a working director. You have a web series called Mixed Blooms. You have another movie called The Director that you've been that's been getting around. And let's maybe start with Mixed Blooms. Why did you decide to do a web series?
Because I really wanted to direct television, and most of the work that I do in my day job is corporate videos, and I can't really share it because it's internal stuff that stays internal. Right. And I was actually doing quite a bit of comedy, and I started to realize that it comes most naturally to me. So I talked to somebody, and they just suggested the web series route so I could show that I could consistently direct comedy, and so I just did it. I was at the Palm Springs Shorts Fest when this person talked to me about it, and I was driving home from Palm Springs, and I came up with a bunch of episode ideas, thinking about the characters, and just was the right timing. And then I contacted two comedy people I know, friends of mine who I know write comedy, and one of them used to be a stand-up. And I got them on board, and they were willing, which was great and kind of unexpected. And we just we got together and we did it like a TV writer's room, and pitched ideas and developed the episode ideas I had further and the characters further, and wrote some scripts.
Is this something that you ever thought while you were in the process of going like, man, I wonder if I should, like if we get this done and we shoot the pilot and then maybe wait till pilot season comes up and maybe try to pitch it there? Or, I mean, did you ever think of like, okay, maybe we'll try this for television first. If we get turned down, then we're going to go to web series? Or was it always a web series from conception?
It was always a web series, but people now and then were like, oh, you should just do the pilot first and then see how that goes and see if you can sell it or get sponsors on board. And we already had all the scripts, so I just wanted to get it done. And the train just was already out of the station, and once it's going, you just got to hold on and keep going.
It's a juggernaut.
For me, at least.
It is what it is. It's a juggernaut. Nothing can stop the juggernaut. So
Exactly.
now, did you actually get or approach any sponsors to help it defer the costs of making mixed blooms or anything like that? Because you did a crowdfunding campaign for this as well, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I did Kickstarter.
Kickstarter. How did that work out for you?
It worked out pretty well. We hit our Kickstarter goal. What I did is I was a little nervous because I wanted to go for like 8,000, and I just wasn't sure if I could get it because I think the last thing that I did, my short film called Phlegm, was I think I raised about 5,000. So I was like, I don't know if I can hit 8,000.
Right.
So I kept the goal low on Kickstarter because it's all or nothing. And so I hit that goal and not much further. And I think because just psychologically people, they see that number and the little goal line and they're like, oh,
they're all
fine.
done.
Yeah, all set. So I might have done myself a disservice there. But we kept it really, really low budget, really small crew. We shot 2 episodes a day, and we did like 3 Sundays in a row.
Right. And it's what, six episodes or so?
Yeah, 6 episodes and then a bunch of extras and then, just a bunch of extras on top of that. So I think it's a total of 13 videos now.
Cool. And how has reception for it been so far? Like, do you feel that you're getting the responses that you wanted, whether through social media or on your own website? I mean, are the views what you expected for something that kind of came out of, for lack of a better term, came out of nowhere, right? I mean, you just kind of, people know you from your work, but, you made this and now you have to kind of birth it out to the world.
Right. Of course, you'd love for it to get 1 million views, but the reality is that it's hard to get a lot of views if you don't have a known entity, especially for narrative stuff.
Right.
Especially because we're indie, we're not on any sort of special platform or connected to a sponsor that's also doing, real marketing for us. So I'm happy. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out because we did get a solid number of views, and we just hit our latest video just hit 1,000 views within a month, which is really good for us. So I'm happy that we're still growing.
Good.
And people are still discovering us, and we've gotten good feedback. And it seems like it probably makes sense to do a second season because we have grown a fan base.
Cool. So you've grown a fan base and you've been able to kind of, get these people to follow you and kind of you're working through this, and I'm stalling because you kind of dropped out for a second. You still with me? All right.
Yeah.
So you think a second season would be in order? Now, here's another question, and it's more of a personal / professional question. You raise money. Obviously, you have this cast, you have crew. Did you pay for your cast and crew to be there for season 1?
Did I pay? I paid a gas stipend, and we're doing. What's the word I'm looking for?
Deferred or?
Deferred, yeah.
Okay.
It's deferred, but it's all through SAG.
Okay, so it's SAG New Media?
Yeah.
Gotcha. So, all right, and so you think season 2 would probably be similar? Because I know what a lot of people are doing, and I had a conversation with someone about this recently about compensation, and I would love to know your opinion, because not only have you worked on the web series side, you've also worked on the corporate side, you've also worked on the, as a filmmaker, an actual, a director of the director. So, you've kind of got, the conversation on compensation I had was someone said, well, I have a web series, we did season 1, and I didn't pay anybody because we just couldn't afford it. Now we want to go do season 2. Should I go ahead and pay these people for season 2 because, season 1, even though we weren't making any money, still it's like, it's almost like going back to the well twice. It's like for FilmSnobbery, it's always been like, well, we don't pay our writers. And now I'm getting to the point where I'm like, I really want to retain writers and get quality work from them. And I feel that good work should be rewarded. And these people were rewarded of, they worked hard, they got season 1, and now like it demanded, in your case as well, it demanded a season 2. So like, what's your opinion on how people should be compensated for stuff like that?
Well, you get to a point where you just feel bad because all these people are helping you without much pay, and it just really depends. I think if you're just this tight unit and you want to keep going together, then you keep going, and when there is money, you share it. I'm hoping for season 2 I'm going to work on more, I'm going to just do more work on the sponsorship and getting more money for it, because I don't think I can do it without that. I can't do season 2 without sponsorship and a little more, a different platform.
I got you.
A bigger platform.
I understand. I'll help you out. It's okay. Sponsorship is what I do. I don't know, though, because you are an attractive young female voice, and I find that businesses like to listen to that way more than they like to listen to my, well, look at this face. It's just not right. There's something not right about it. So, no, but I would, if anything I can do to help, let me know. That said,
thank you.
You're welcome. That said, now I want to also talk about the festival circuit, because that's where we met.
Mm-hmm.
And it was darling, although I don't remember a lot of it because I was kind of blackout drunk for most of it.
as will happen on the festival circuit.
So, especially if you're in Birmingham, Alabama.
Yes, that was so much fun. I really, really loved Sidewalk Film Festival. It was just like summer camp for filmmakers.
I love the stories about Sidewalk that I hear after I came back. Like, I heard, like, just the debauchery that went on behind the scenes. Not necessarily, like, the people who run the festival, but I mean, like the people that you and I, were cohorted with while we were there, It's just, like, all the stories I heard about that, I was just like, really? That happened? That guy
blew... You'll have to fill me in offline.
Oh, we'll have to do that.
Any good stories.
It's literally the stories are like, that. Who blew who? It's so like that, and it's so awesome.
Oh my goodness.
We will totally talk about that off air. Someone actually asked I'll just answer it now before I forget. David Foldy in the chat room here asked, when you guys move, are you still going to take call-ins? I'm assuming not, but just wondering. Yes, we will do call-ins, but hopefully we'll just have better technology to make the call-ins look prettier. But anyways, so. The festival circuit. So what do you do as a filmmaker to promote your film at a film festival?
I had postcards and posters, and I had business cards that had looked like my poster, basically. And because the web series was coming out at the same time, I had on the other side of the business card information about my web series. And so it's like, yeah.
Do you feel that has added to your fan base? Like, can you quantify? Because that's the other thing I've always tried to figure out with filmmakers, and you as a person who studied PR and stuff like that, I'm sure that part of that is retention and some of the statistics and analytics of PR of have you been able to ever quantify the people that you retain through these contacts? You know what I mean? Like, have you ever been able to count that someone that you met at a festival either subscribed to Mixed Blooms or left a comment or anything like that, or maybe even followed you on Twitter?
I would say it's pretty minimal, but I don't know. It just depends on the festival. Some I came back and it's like we all follow each other, and others I might just hear from one person, So I think it's something, it's a slow growth thing as far as the festival. When you meet other filmmakers, that's my favorite part about the festivals is just meeting other filmmakers and being, sharing war stories and being in touch over the long haul. Because I used to also, volunteer for festivals, and I met people who were filmmakers just volunteering, and we stayed in touch, for a really long time, and now they're still doing the filmmaking thing and really becoming names in filmmaking. So you just gotta hang on and hold on to the friends, and eventually something will come of it.
Yeah, and it's a constant. It is a constant battle to try to get people to not only be interested in yourself, but your stuff, but also, you do want to make friends, because it's an industry of relationships as well. Like, maybe you meet people that you want to work with later on down the line, especially if, like, there are, if actors and actresses, especially if they're from, local, like LA or something like that to you, like, just be like, oh, I met them, I like their personality, I think we'd work well together. You wanna stay in touch with them, because maybe you might have a project they'd be good for further down the line. So it's tough. Now, do you ever go to film festivals that your movies or web series or whatever you're working on aren't in, just to network? Do you go to networking events?
Yeah, I do still go. I used to go all the time, but I still go to a few, like the LA Film Festival. I really enjoy going to that. I just have a lot of friends that go, so if we haven't seen each other throughout the year, we'll connect there. And I'll usually get a pass so I can go to the parties, and that's where I see everyone.
Because you strike me as a party girl. Totally.
No, not really. I have a full-time job. I have to be a professional.
Oh, be a professional. Yeah, but that only lasts 9 to 5, honey.
Get me in trouble.
The night calls. You know what I'm saying? And you answer. And soon you'll have a sidekick.
Yeah.
But a wingman. But I wanted to also talk about the director for a second, because I don't have a trailer up for it that we're going to show now, but why don't you go ahead and give people the gist on what the director is, and also maybe at the end of it, tie it in and tell them a little bit about, like, where they can get it or see it or anything of that nature.
Okay, the director is a very, very short animated film about women directors, and it's basically just saying that women can direct even if they don't have all the traditional masculine traits of men. And it's under a minute long, so it gives this message really quickly. And it's animated in a really simple way with stick figures. And it's been to about 15 different festivals or screenings. And we actually have one coming up in LA. I think it's March 30th at the Echo Park Film Center with Filmmakers Alliance. So if people in LA want to see it, they have a chance to do that.
That's good. That's good. And did you do it as something that you were hoping to, you said it's, a minute you said? So
yeah. I did it for a trailer contest for a program of shorts at the American Cinematheque called Focus on Female Directors. And so it won that contest, and then Kim Edelman, who is one of the people who programs that program, the Female Directors Program, suggested that I put it on the festival circuit, kind of take out a couple things that made it a trailer and send it out as a short. And lo and behold, it actually got into a bunch of festivals. So I owe it all to her.
We all owe it all to the Nookie. I got nothing.
But Kim wrote, she wrote a couple books, I think, about short filmmaking and festivals. And
I was going to say, I know that name from somewhere, and I'm like, you said Kim wrote something. I'm like, I know that, and I'm like, who do I know that from?
She is a woman about town.
A woman about town, but not a lady of the evening. So good. No. She's a lady in the evening, as well as in the morning.
Yes.
I don't know how the hell I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. But so what do you have? You already mentioned that you might do a season 2 of Mixed Blooms, but do you have any other projects in the works currently, or is it pretty much just kind of promoting Mixed Blooms and kind of focusing as much full time as you possibly can on that?
I've been thinking it's probably time to make a feature. So I'm just starting to put the feelers out there for scripts because with my full-time job, I know I'm not going to be able to complete a script.
Oh, I have a script for you.
Oh, really?
Yes, and by I mean Jerry. Jerry has a script on Inktip right now. I highly suggest that anyone who loves to do like a really good, and I told Jerry, I said, if no one buys this script or options this script within the next year, I will make this movie. I will produce. Well, I will produce.
Really?
I will produce this movie.
What genre?
It's a romantic comedy. It's kind of a teen college sex comedy type of thing. He kind of toned it down a little bit too, and I kind of like how it turned out. But that said, it's called Freshman 15, and it's awesome. It's probably one of the best scripts of Jerry's that I've read, and I've read 3 scripts, maybe 4 from him so far.
I think 4.
4, yeah, because so he's got one optioned right now. Funny Doubles.
Thank you for praising. It's the best of 4.
Well, honestly, I think that Freshman 15 is the next logical progression of in your career to Stuck Like Chuck. I mean, as much as I give him shit all the time that, man, you typically tend to write a lot of the same types of characters. Like, when I hear his character speak, I hear him. But I think that's just because I'm too close to Jerry. I know Jerry really well.
Yeah, you know him.
Yeah, but I think that, like, if I'm looking at Jerry as, like, a Darwin chart, he's now gone from, like, plankton to like maybe some like amoebic, maybe slightly multicelled organism. I don't know. I don't know if that's backwards or forwards.
You're so nice to him.
Can I quote that on the movie poster?
Yes, you can. No, Jerry
Has
Doesn't
risen
Jerry
from
direct?
plankton to amoeba.
Jerry's gone from like Homo erectus to just homosexual. And no, Jerry.
Progress.
What was that? What did you say?
Progress.
Yes, progress. It's all about progress. And but no, I love that. I love that script, and that's why. I mean, I've always said like to so many people when they ask me, "Oh yeah, where's your script? Where's this?" You're gonna just kind of get into the game eventually and just make something. And I'm like, no, I have no interest, and I really don't. But I feel very strongly that it would be such a shame if this movie didn't get made. Like, I felt that strongly about it. I'm just like, look, I'll give you a year to sell it. And then if you can't sell it, I will option it myself for like $1.
Well, I definitely need to read it then. But doesn't Jerry direct?
Jerry does direct, but I don't think he made that script for him to direct. What do you think, Jerry, real quick?
It's a movie that I would love to direct, but odds are I'm not gonna, so I'm okay with that as long as I find someone that is on the same page with it, and also the budget's right, because it's a bigger movie than what I usually write.
I've said to Jerry before. I said to him that he's a fantastic writer and a fair director. I think that he needs to mature a bit in both, but I think his writing is on par with at least anything that's on television at the moment. So he at the very least could have a career successfully doing just that while he hones his skills as a director. I think that he just needs more opportunities to make things. Like, I'm totally behind Jerry.
I'm sorry to come in on the interview now, but what I was just going to say is, honestly, my idea was doing the one for them, one for me thing, the Soderbergh does, but I would do the write a script for them and then make my own little, $20,000 indie film, like on the side, like a really small indie, just to hone my craft as a filmmaker.
And let's be honest,
that's kind of what Stuff Like Chuck 2 was.
And with as cheap a bastard as Jerry is, $20,000 to him would be like a Michael Bay movie. Like, it would be like ginormous for him. So, it's good. I think that Jerry will have an opportunity in the near future to really to really kind of get that out there, especially if Funny Devils gets made the way we hope it will. And I've been behind Jerry the whole way. And so all of that was said to say this: Destri, you should go on Inktip.com and check out Freshman 15, because if you're a member of Inktip, you can actually read the script that's up there. So.
Or
I'm not a member, but do I have to pay for it?
Yeah, I think so, but
Yeah, I can just email it to her because
Yeah.
I've heard searching for specific titles on Inktip is a bitch. Pretty much you have to search by like genre and stuff. You can't search a specific film. So if like a filmmaker, like if you meet someone and they're like, oh, read my script on Inktip, it's called this, there's no way of searching that. Or it's really hard to search that.
because they search more based on like keywords and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Jerry, you're done with the interview now.
I'll take myself again.
Thank you. Good.
I definitely want to read it though.
Yeah, well, I'll make sure Jerry sends it to you.
Okay, cool.
So if you are looking to do a feature, boom, I can start handing you stuff. But no, that's good. I would love to see what you do with a feature because I think Mixed Blooms had a really good. I'll give them like my mini review, I guess. Mixed Blooms had a really good, I think, kind of style to it. I think the writing was pretty spot on. It seems like, you're a filmmaker that knows how to collaborate with people. You said you kind of have done the writer's room thing, so it sounds like you're not afraid necessarily of criticism or at least, at the very least, ideas. So.
Oh no, they can't tell me if they don't like it. Just kidding.
Fair enough.
They must always tell me how much they love it. No, yeah.
Now you sound like a Hollywood.
collaborating.
Now you sound like a Hollywood exec, like a male Hollywood exec. So all right. Well, that's cool. Now, let's see. We've talked about director. We've talked about festival circuit. We talked about. Now, here's another thing. You are what I would consider to be an LA expert because you've been there for forever now, and by ever I mean you're only like what 21. So
Right, exactly.
totally. I didn't know your real age, so I couldn't really go like high-low like I normally do with most women. Like, anyway.
Smart.
Yeah. So I just like, how low can I go while still making you legal? I'm going out to Los Angeles. I've visited once before in my life, but I only was there for about a week. I'm going out there to move out there now. And not only that, we may even be like apartment like buddies, like you, not roommates, but like I may live below you.
Yeah.
Which is probably the closest I'll get to having a woman on top of me in the near future. So
I knew that was coming.
Didn't you, huh? So I guess the question is I'm going out there. How fast will I either be mugged, stabbed, or shot? And is there anything I can do to prevent that?
I don't really think you have anything to worry about as far as that kind of stuff. I mean, it's not that unsafe. As far as my experience, and it's not like I am always staying inside and afraid of the dark. But I think you're going to be safe. You're going to be okay. I'll watch out for you. I'll protect you.
I appreciate that because someone here right here, Lord Bronco in the chat room says 2-1 stabbed. So we got bookmakers going on, so the odds are on there. So yes, interesting. So what if you, as you're advising me right now as a first-time transplant to Los Angeles, and pretend that I'm any other filmmaker, even though I'm not a filmmaker, but pretend I am. What is the first piece of advice that you would give to someone like myself?
To someone new to LA for
Yes.
pretend
I am like some corn poke, hick from like Nebraska or Kansas or something like that. And I'm like, I've got big stars in my eyes and big dreams in my heart. And I'm coming out to LA and I'm going to make it, damn it. I am going to make it. What would you say to kind of, what kind of advice would you give someone like myself?
I would say be very patient and especially if you're a filmmaker, write as much as you can because you write your ticket when you write.
I was going to say, do you feel that most filmmakers that are in LA are more successful writers than they are filmmakers?
I don't know about that, but it seems like people get their foot in the door a little earlier if they're writers.
Interesting.
Like people who are really writers and they're focused on writing. My friends, usually they can get a few scripts done and it's a little easier for them to get agent or manager because they have that material. Of course, it has to be good. You're just not automatically going to get an agent or manager, but it just, I don't know, from my observation, it seems like the writers are sort of in there, especially if they want to do TV writing, because there's always staff positions
Interesting.
across the board. But of course, it's not easy. It's always going to be a challenge.
Interesting. Yeah, because I don't think a lot of people know a lot about, like I think a lot of people come out there, like I'm coming out there and I'm happy to know that I don't have to rely on, like I'm not coming out there to be like, I'm a director, I'm a producer, I'm a writer. Like that is secondary to what I do. Like I'm kind of on the outskirts of that. And in terms of work, if for some reason FilmSnobbery doesn't punch my ticket out there, I have a tech background I can fall back on, a marketing background I can fall back on, and thankfully I also know a lot of great people out there that will hopefully, at least, the very least, be a shoulder to cry on during the hard times. So,
Okay.
So that part I'm not nervous about, but it is interesting to know that, it seems like writers have a little bit more, people who are writing constantly, writers, whether it's for TV, film, or whatever, it seems like they have a little bit more to offer out there, in terms of...
I guess. I mean, it's so hard to really say, but
right.
I would say they have a tiny bit of an edge. Yeah.
First glance film...
But then again, if you have a project and you're a director and you're ready with either money or resources to just make something, then that's great too, to make something. But I got kind of stuck in the production world just trying to get my experience in production, and I wasted a lot of time, and I kind of wish I had done something that gave me more time to write.
Right. I understand. And First Glance Film here in the chat room made a couple comments. Said, number one, don't meet a woman on Santa Monica Boulevard. She's probably a man.
Yes, that's true.
That's true. And
Very
also,
true.
Don't do any auditions in the West Valley.
That's also probably really good advice.
So let me ask you, what modeling agency are you with?
What?
What modeling agency are you with?
No modeling agency
Damn,
for me.
see, I'm hoping that that's a good pickup line. No, kidding. It's better.
Could be.
Could be. I don't know. Did it work for you a little bit? Were you like, wow, really, modeling agency? I don't know. See, I have
We'll
to.
work on that. It's not so much modeling here, but we'll work on that, Nick.
Okay.
When you get here.
Good, because
On
I
your
have
pickup line.
no skills whatsoever. Like for me, it's just like if I can find them and they're blind, like I'm halfway there. We also
But
need
maybe you should be going to Santa Monica Boulevard.
no, because they're blinding them to be blind, not me. Especially because blind people feel with their hands. I don't want to feel with my hands on Santa Monica Boulevard. But I want to thank you so much for coming on and talking to us about Mixed Blooms and the director and what you do, and because I think you offer so many different perspectives. I mean, like we said, it's International Women's Day. It's great to have a woman on the show and get your perspective on the industry. I think that conversation we had about like it's a man's world was really good. I wish we could continue that for like another hour.
I could go on and on. Thank you so much for having me. Very fun.
Anytime, and I look forward to seeing you in 3 weeks.
We'll have a drink.
We'll have many. Then you'll be halfway to where I need you. So thank you so much, and I wish you continued success on Mixed Blooms, and hopefully, what they say, 13 seasons in a movie, right? That's what they say? So
something like that.
Exactly. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, Destri Martino.
Thank you.
Thank you. And bye. And we are now back with the show as usual. Right now, normally I would cut over to a commercial for our good friends over at Indie Picks Unlimited, but honestly, I just don't feel like doing it right now because we do have a lot of things that we still want to talk about. Jerry, I'm going to talk to Jerry real quick. Jerry, hi.
Hi. It's 6 seasons in a movie.
Is it? I don't know. See, I was giving them an extra.
Way too much. What shows make 13 seasons?
The Simpsons. They're in like the 20-something season, aren't they? And South Park. I don't know. They're in season 20, aren't they?
But
SNL. They're in
it's
like
6 seasons in a movie.
All right. You're like, how many shows do that? I'm like, well, allow me to fucking elaborate.
But they count them all out while wasting everyone's time.
But we have something very important that we want to talk about, and the reason why I wanted to get you on here as well is because we want to talk about something that you don't have a ton to do with, but it's always good to have another voice helping. Like I just gave you a bunch of props on your screenwriting. I need you to help me.
So I'll give you props on begging people for money.
Exactly, because you've gone through this on a movie before. We've had the discussion of your famed Indiegogo campaign, and that's what we have right now, an Indiegogo campaign to help move myself and FilmSnobbery to Los Angeles.
But not me.
Not you. But the whole thing is that Jerry's not coming.
You're moving me off the show.
Good call. Good call. Wow, you really got me on that one. That's good. Yeah, the moving truck is showing up, but you're not going anywhere. Yeah, Joe. So Jerry is he'll still be involved. He's just not going to be on the show as much. We'll have another co-host kind of helping, but the show format is going to change a little bit as well. So when put in perspective, I think a lot of people will understand that joke a little bit better in like 2 months. But Jerry, so we're doing. I think we're doing okay so far. You tell me, how do you think we're doing? We're at $1,510 right now, $1,510 on a $5,000 goal, and we're like, what, 4 or 5 days, 6 days, somewhere around there into our campaign. So we started at, 30 days, and we're at 25 or 24 now, 24 days.
Do you want my honest opinion?
Yes.
How's it going? Okay.
Yeah.
This is similar to what we were doing on Stuck Like Chuck 2, where within a couple of days we were at like 1,500. And I was like, wow, we made it to 1,500 in just a few days. We're going to keep going. And we kind of just plateaued for a while. And like we occasionally get a few, like 1 or 2 donations a day, but like usually it's like some days we would start going without a single donation. And then we would like, at the end of the day, we'd finally get a donation from someone. And then like it kind of teetered off for a bit. And then we got a few days where we started getting more donations. And then it went back down. So I don't know where you're at. Because like, we all know what happened with my campaign, so...
Yeah, we do. We definitely do, which is why I wanted to have the campaign failure expert correspondent, Jerry Cavallaro, on my show.
So in my professional opinion, you're right at the level where you could fail or you could skyrocket.
Because I was talking with a good friend Gary King on Facebook the other day, and he's like, oh, you're killing it so far, and you know, everyone will... It's always a rally at the end. And I'm like, I don't want the rally at the end. I'm like, no offense, but I'm going to be busy packing and getting shit together, and like... I can't be stressing out about
also,
like...
just the rally at the end is more with Kickstarter than Indiegogo.
Right, and that's the other consideration. Now, obviously, the reason why we did Indiegogo is because regardless, we need the money. So, like, even if we don't make our goal, we will still figure out some way of getting there. It just might not be April 1st. It might be April 2nd. But... You know, it's just, I gotta sneeze. It's coming up. Hold on.
Go for it.
Thank you.
You can do it.
I can do it. But, yeah, we really hope that we can hit the $5,000 goal because I've budgeted everything out. I've got the route planned out. I've got how much it's going to cost for gas, how much it's going to cost for tolls. I've budgeted for... the apartment, which is a studio apartment, it doesn't even have a fucking kitchen, people. Like, I'm literally going to be working on, like, a college mini fridge and a hot plate, you know?
Lord Bronco just said that you said the wrong thing. Nobody wants to hear about packing. Makes the campaign sound like an afterthought.
The campaign is not an afterthought. It's something that is going to happen regardless.
I'm not sure how the campaign would sound like an afterthought if the packing is the last thing you're doing.
I mean, no offense, man, but like I'm packing my entire life up in a tiny little car that I'm looking at right now that actually doesn't even run right now. Well, it runs, but I need to get wheel bearings on it. So I've got about $500 worth of repairs to do. You know, it's just like...
So get your donations in now.
Totally. It's like I've got to set up an apartment before I get there. I've got a car repair to do. I've got a budget for gas, budget for tolls, budget for food. I've put money aside for production design for the new studio. A very modest amount of money for like a bed and maybe like a mini fridge for the apartment so I can live. Yeah, man, it's tough. It's tough, and I really hope that. We make our goal. I mean, that's the end of it. And if anything you guys can do to help, I'd appreciate it. We actually posted a couple of updates recently. One update was that we posted today was it's actually the entire route we're taking out to LA, and that was kind of a fun one. And I actually filmed something today. It's going to be out in a couple of days. I didn't want to post everything all together. And what it is I did an actual video from my tablet in my car to kind of give everyone an idea of like, this is where I'm going to be for days on end getting out to Los Angeles. I'm looking forward to it. I love to drive. The car has always been reliable. I just have to get some work done to it now just to get it road ready, especially for such a long trip. And it'll be good. It'll be good. I mean, I'm not bitching, but I'm but I want to, I hope people understand that the faster we can get everything done and get everything set up, the quicker I can kind of get this stuff back on the air, and the quicker that we can get more site enhancements done, because all this stuff is basically being done by myself. The sooner we can start, implementing a lot of the new resources that I think we're working on. We've got another screening series to plan. We've got, other surprises. Jerry and I were even talking about some surprises possibly in store right before the show. So, we're not going to talk about it now, but we'll, we've got a bunch of stuff. So, just anything you guys can do to help. Yes, this is kind of the big bag. I know it's not really a well-formed argument, but the whole point is the reason why we're doing this is because we want to help you. My entire life revolves around what can I do. Every day I wake up, all I can do is think about what can I do to help promote independent filmmakers today? What can I do to watch movies and review movies? What can I do to get your movies in front of an audience? What can I do to help make you money and help you make your next movie? That is my entire life. I'm in Massachusetts. There's zero resources for me to do that out here. And yes, I know that we are kind of an online entity, and yes, there's a lot of great resources that you can use online, but anybody who knows anything about business knows that deals are made in person. Deals are made, especially high-level deals that involve things like money. No one's going to give me 10 grand, just online on a couple of email exchanges. What's going to happen is I'm going to go out to LA, I'm going to meet up with the people who need to be met up with, I'm going to make deals with them, I'm going to shake their hand, we're going to drop a contract, and then guess what? You get money. That's how that works. We get money, you get money. Everyone gets money, and then we all sustain, which is really the whole point, right? I do this on my own dime. I hope to not have to necessarily do it on my own dime for the rest of my life. So it's, yeah. And Stream Unity says, and yet you have made it all this way anyway. And yeah, I'm so thankful for where we are now. And we totally couldn't have made it to where we are now without, you guys out there. I mean, you'll see it in the video. I give you guys total props in the next video that's coming out in a couple days. And I'll probably phrased it a lot better too. But I mean, totally everything we are now is because of your support, not necessarily of anything special that we've done. What we did was we showed up and we continued to show up, just like Jerry. Jerry showed up one day because I was in a slant. I was in a bit of I needed help. It was a bit of a pickle, as it were, and he just kept showing up. And so that's really all it is. But because you guys kept tuning in, because you guys.
The show is my idea.
Because besides you always try to take credit for shit.
It's true, though. I was the one that told you should go live. After the whole disaster of the 24-hour live show where I came in and tried to save your ass during the show, I was on the air for 12 hours.
Well, at least someone was. So
yeah.
the other thing
There
about
more people on the show than who were watching it.
Right. So anyway, my whole point of that was that, the only way we're going to grow bigger and be able to help more, because at the end of the day, I want to help you more, is if we have an opportunity to be in a place where that help exists and, those resources exist. I had a whole argument, not an argument really, but a heated exchange with my best friend Jay today. My best friend Jay Tassetti, known the guy since high school, and he's really not happy about me moving away because he's my best friend. He's having his third kid, and he just was looking forward to sharing more of life experiences with me here, and. Because, we hang out, he's my buddy, it is what it is, but so he doesn't understand, he's like, why can't you do what you do here? He's like, you work online, why, I don't understand why you gotta leave, and it's just like, what I do, he goes, you travel so much anyway. And I'm like, film festivals are one thing. The business is something completely different. You know, excuse me, film festivals are only a part of what we do, you know, in terms of coverage, in terms of speaking engagements, in terms of stuff like that. So it's you know, that's only one facet of what we do. You know, if I want to consult with a filmmaker on their movie, there's not tons of opportunities to do that here in Massachusetts. You know, out in LA, if I want to do a script clearance for someone, if I want to do if I want to do some sort of you know, help on, you know, production, post-production, festival strategy, distribution strategy, anything like that, chances are there's far more resources available there and far more, for lack of a better term, customers there, potential clients there, than there are here. So I mean, I'm just going to where the market is. So, yeah, and Destri says, I like it, Destrino. Just showing up is half the battle. Yeah, totally. And Lord Bronco says, you have my total support always. Lord Bronco, I totally appreciate that. I really do. Yeah, man, and yeah, we really. Yeah, and even First Class was this huge resource pool here in LA. And also, you know, we do this show. I love doing this show. I want this show to be better because if people watch this, you know, we highlight filmmakers, we highlight their projects, which is, you know, we're taking a moment to highlight our own project right now, but, you know, we highlight your projects, we interview you, we hope that you can use this for, you know, some sort of a press kit or something in the future. I want that, what you're presenting to other people, that is your interview or your press, I want it to look and sound and be as best as it possibly can so that you're proud to showcase it. You know, I want it to be a showpiece for you. You know, I don't do this show for me. I have no interest in being in front of a camera. Believe me, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I ended up doing this by default. And, you know, I'm happy to do it in as much as, because it gives me an opportunity to talk about your work. But oh man, I'm not camera ready, so it is what it is. Yeah, and Bill says, plus if you decide to do film festivals, there's a film fest every 2 days in LA. And the film fest stuff, you know, that stuff gets expensive too. If I just sat there and said, I'm just going to do a film festival tour and it's going to be $5,000 for that, I'd be gone for a month and I'd be done. You know, I mean, I'd be burned through the $5,000 between travel and all the other stuff. I mean, we're looking to really set up a base of operations here in Los Angeles, or there in Los Angeles. We're looking to have a little bit of fun with the trip, you know, really involve you guys. The perks are great. We've got postcards that I'm going to write out from the road in different locations we've stopped at. I'm going to, you know, we've got the FilmSnobbery B&D t-shirts, which everyone tells me they like, so hopefully you guys like them too. We've got free consulting time. We've got, you can live on my couch or on my mattress. I don't give a shit. I'll sleep on the couch or floor or wherever. For up to a month. An airbed or whatever, up to a month. You know, I mean, you know, if you have this same dream that I do of, I want to come out to LA and I want to make it, let me give you a freaking heads up, you know? Let me give you a handout. All this, you know, basically what you're paying for is your first month's rent, pretty much, you know? And then you get out there and you live, you know, maybe not comfortably, but you live out there for free, you know, give you an opportunity to go to some meetings and go and meet people and do what you need to do, you know? Hopefully you get some, you know, get your feet under you and you make it. Yeah, Jerry said it before, we should do a radio show, yeah. Anyway, so that is my completely long-winded description of why I really hope that you find value in what we do and value it high enough that you feel compelled to make a donation to our campaign. Jerry, I believe, put the URL in the chat room. The URL is also up on the screen right now. It's indiegogo.com/moving forward. And that's what we're doing. We're not, you know, moving on up. We're, you know, moving forward and really moving over, you know. I mean, we're not doing this, you know, we're not asking for money so that we can go and buy, you know, live in an expensive apartment and live rent-free and do everything on your dime. This isn't, you know, me trying to take advantage of the indie community's generosity. We know that you have money issues of your own. It's still a tough economy. We know that you are trying to save up money for your own projects. But please, I'm asking you to support us in what we're doing, and I guarantee you it will pay dividends for you in the future. this is why we're doing this. We're doing this for you, so that you hopefully don't have to beg for money later, and so that you can come to us and then we can help you. And because that is what I specialize in. I specialize in finding ways for people to get help. It's just I don't want to have to. I just don't want to have people, I want people to make their movies. I want them to, I want to be in a place where I can sit there and tell people, look, I got someone has this, and this, and they need this, and this. What can we offer them? And be able to make that deal on your behalf and help you out. That's just what I do. So, yeah, and Jerry, Jerry, everyone says like the help us help you, and it's such a fucking trite thing. And I know what you're getting at, Jerry, and I do appreciate it. But like, it's so true. Like my job doesn't exist without you, and hopefully you guys find value in what we do, and hopefully you guys support it. So thank you very much for those who already have. We've got 30. I don't know if we got any during this long tirade, but we did have 30 backers. Let's see how many we have now. And it's probably still going to be 30.
It's the same.
It probably is. I will say that, and it's on this show, the next person to donate $25 and up will get a one-year Movie Maker magazine subscription. So if you're thinking about donating and you've just been waiting, why? I don't understand.
It's a fine publication.
It is a fine publication. I know them very well. They're very nice people. As a matter of fact, I will thank right now, thank Jennifer Wood, the editor of Movie Maker Magazine, for helping us out by donating several free subscriptions. Because and that's what this stuff is about, folks. It's about finding people who don't necessarily always have money, but maybe they have resources. In this case, we hope that you see us as a resource that needs money. So, if you can donate, great. If you can't, look, I completely understand. It's still kind of shitty out there economy-wise. Everyone's saving pennies. But if you can at least retweet it, Facebook it, Google Plus it, hell, dude, throw it up on Pinterest. I don't give a shit. Get it out there, because that's what we need.
Pin that shit.
Pin that shit. Get it out there and help us, give us a little bit of a hand up, to get out there.
Is pinted a thing?
Pinted?
Yeah.
I don't think
pinted that shit.
I haven't heard that. I haven't heard pinted.
I think we should start that.
I like how you could really kind of make any word a thing just by adding that shit at the end of it. It's just we use Canon cameras here, right? So we use Canon cameras. We'd be like, I cannoned that shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like right now, Indiegogo that shit.
By the way, I didn't want to break the little sentimental tirade, but I was going to make the joke that when you said you said my job wouldn't exist without you, I was going to throw in, and my job doesn't exist anymore.
It would be great for Jerry to go to the unemployment line, but I never paid him anything, so he'd be missing out. And just look at it this way, Jerry. You have so much more time now to be able to dedicate.
Exactly. I'll be during every show. I'll be watching in the chat room.
You got it right.
I'll save my voice.
Sounds like you blew a hole through a cannon. That shit. Yeah, there you go. And even Destri said, "Lol, pin that shit." So,
that's a thing now.
It's a thing. We're gonna make it a thing. So yeah, guys, that's what it is. It's film snobbery. Was it 6 seasons in a movie? We're already 3 seasons in. So.
I actually Canon that shit for if you use the Canon 7D or something to film a movie. How'd you film the movie, sir? I Canon that shit.
No. People say, did you shoot it? No, I Canon that shit.
Did you shoot on film? No, I Canon that shit.
Nice. See, I do like that. I think that works. So just remember, folks, important safety tip. You can make anything a thing just by adding
an apostrophe D and put that
shit at the end of it. Totally. That's a thing. That's how that can work. So we're going to end this shit right now. And I want to
It
thank...
doesn't work that well. You can't do the ended.
I-
The end.
It's my show. It's what I'm doing. It is what it is. So,
JerryCavallaro.com, that shit.
you know, I will allow JerryCavallaro.com. I also want to go ahead and I want to throw out some links to our guests for tonight because we didn't get a chance to do that while she was on. Again, if you want to find more information about Destri Martino, her web series Mixed Blooms, you can go to mixedblooms.com. Find them on Twitter, twitter.com/mixedblooms. You can follow Destri herself over twitter.com/Destri Martino. That's Destri Martino, Martino. She's so adorable. And you can also find them on Facebook, facebook.com/modernfamilybiz. And please check it out because she's always got cool stuff going on. And Streaming Indie, thank you very much. His live guests in the studio will be quite a novelty. Definitely worth supporting the move. You know, at the end of the day, we really just want to make things as just dynamic as possible for you guys. You know, we want to make it, you know, it's a show. We want you to be entertained. We want you to be educated. We want you to be able to use it, you know, to your benefit. I think that at some point what I'd like to do is, you know, we have the show and then maybe do something like what Kevin Smith does at like the John Lovitz podcast theater where, you know, we do something live in front of like an audience, because I don't know if we'll have enough room to get, you know, an audience into the new studio, but we'll see. It'll be... We'll see. I don't even know what the new studio looks like. I know some of the equipment we'll be using. I don't know what it looks like. So hopefully that'll be an update in the near future for you guys too. We'll maybe try to get some pictures of it. We'll get some more information about our new co-host, Leah Savoli, who's going to be on the show, and maybe see who we can wrangle as part of the new production crew for Film Snobbery Live, if any. I don't know. I might have to go out for interns. So that being said, please follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/FilmSnobbery, facebook.com/ you could Facebook to that shit. Facebook.com/FilmSnobbery, and follow us and all of our exploits every day over at FilmSnobbery.com. And yes, again, you can go and follow what Jerry's doing too at JerryCavallaro.com. And if you have any interest in reading and possibly purchasing, optioning, whatever you want to call it, Freshman 15,
Give me money for my shit.
Give him, yes, you can PayPal his shit. I don't know. So, yes.
Redid my shit.
And hook Destri up. She only needs 4 more likes to hit 200 likes on Modern Family Biz. So rock that shit out and do that.
That shit.
First Glance Film. Nick Baisley will be the Jerry Springer of indie film. I would love to get rival indie filmmakers on and watch them beat the shit out of each other. Oh my God, that would be awesome. There's got to be a way to like do that. I would watch that intently.
Would that make me the Steve Wilkos of indie film?
I hope so. I don't know how you would separate or moderate that heated discussion from Los Angeles. First Glance Film says, I'll option it for 11. Oh, by the way, while Bill here is in actually and before we leave, I know I'm protracting this, but while Bill is in the chat room, I want to say congratulations to Bill for successfully funding his Kickstarter project, Jedi Camp. And it came down to the wire, but he rocked it out and actually raised more money than he actually even set out to raise. And I know we were all worried. I watched that thing freaking intently. I retweeted whenever I could, put it on Facebook wherever I could. We had Leah on the show promoting it. And I'm really glad to see that he succeeded at it. He totally deserved it, and I wish him the best of luck on that. I actually really look forward to, you know, seeing a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff while I'm out in LA about how they're, you know, going to put that together. Because, you know, you did it for the kids. It's great. All the extra money, from what I understand, is going to DoSomething.org. Great charity. I actually, you know, have met those people before. Great people. So yeah, for in the future, check out, you know, so you're gonna start seeing updates for Jedi Camp starring Leah Savoli and Camden Toy from Buffy the Vampire Slayer and other things. So it'll be fun. So thanks for doing it for the kids, and thanks for donating and supporting his cause as well. I know it's tough because all that stuff is, you know, everyone's always looking for something. And so hopefully, you know, hopefully you guys, you know, pick us, pick me. I'm good, no so smart. So thanks everyone, and I got nothing else. Jerry, you got anything?
JerryCavallaro.com.
We've already gone through that.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that again.
I know you are, because you always try to make that the last word of the show, and I'm just not making that happen this year.
Yeah, but you're not going to be able to cut off this much of the show.
Dude,
so.
I am going to